Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a Raleigh police cruiser hit in a head-on crash. What we know about injuries and what may have caused the crash.
And our temperatures have dropped down to freezing almost everywhere, but I'll show you what it will really feel like with the wind chill when you head out the door.
And flurries in the air. Some WRAL viewers spotted snowflakes coming down overnight. What you need to know before you head out on the coldest morning we've had in more than 8 months. And we are here to get you ready for it. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. I'm Renee Chu. I didn't see any flurries on my way in, but I sure felt the cold. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with where we're starting off.
Of course, we have the freeze warning that's in effect. So temperatures have dropped to freezing in many places. It's 29 in Henderson, but 33 in South Hill, 34 in Rocky Mount and Wilson, but 26 in Roanoke Rapids, 30 in Siler City, 32 in Goldsboro, 29 in Sanford and Southern Pines, 32 in Fayetteville and Clinton. So almost everybody sitting at freezing this morning. And then we have the wind to deal with. Our wind chill is going to make it feel more like upper teens to low 20s this morning. Even at lunchtime, it's only going to feel like 35 and feeling like mid 40s later on this afternoon. We'll only climb into the upper 40s. Right now, we're seeing gusty winds in Rocky Mount to 23 miles per hour and Goldsboro at 17. Our winds are steady at about 5 to 10. We take a look at Pinehurst this morning and all is quiet, 32 degrees as our temperature in the triangle. And we have a west wind at around 9 miles per hour. Our 24-hour temperature change is huge, anywhere from 10 to almost 25 degrees colder than this time yesterday. And these are our actual temperatures as we head through the day. Our high this afternoon, only 46. But if you're ready for temperatures near 70 again, we have those in the 7-day forecast. I'll show you.
Elizabeth, thank you. We are following breaking news. This morning, a Raleigh police cruiser was hit head-on in a crash on New Hope Road near Pool Road. Ali Kadlabar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, we understand the officer and the driver are doing okay.
Renee, Raleigh police told me over the phone that it was a miracle that no one got hurt in this. That car came down southbound lanes here on New Hope Road and then crashed into a Raleigh police cruiser head on. And you can see cleanup is underway right here. Within the past 30 minutes, that cruiser went up on the tow truck. Here's video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see how badly damaged both of these vehicles are. Again, Raleigh police say that the car was going southbound on northbound lanes on New Hope Road and then hit the cruiser head on. Now, we do know from Raleigh police that both the driver of the car and the police officer are expected to be okay, and they were not hurt in this. We also asked if the driver of that car is facing charges. They say this is still under investigation, so we're going to keep asking those questions. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
You're going to feel really cold winter-like temperatures when you step outside this morning. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Raleigh this morning. And Laura, people absolutely will be needing a coat this morning.
Yes, bundle up. It is very chilly out here right now. We're actually live at a gas station here in Raleigh on Western Boulevard. We're going to see a lot of people stopping by to put some air in their tires this morning. I know I had to do it myself, and that's because for every 10 degrees we drop, that's 1 PSI that your tire pressure will drop as well. I want you to take a look at some of these photos sent in to report it this morning. Overnight, we have a look at some viewer photos from people in Sanford that saw some of those snow flurries sticking to their car windshield, and then there's a look at some flurries falling in Lumberton overnight as well. Now, the temperatures here, this is the coldest morning in our area since March 3rd, and it's the coldest Veterans Day morning since 1996 to really put things into perspective here. The temperatures have dropped nearly 50 degrees since Sunday. So if you're heading out the door again this morning, just be mindful that it is a chilly one. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
There's another white flag night tonight in Wake County. Last night was our first white flag night of the season. That means warming shelters will open once again, and that will start at 5 p.m. The men's shelter is located at Church of the Good Shepherd on Hillsborough Street. The women's shelter is at First Baptist Church on Salisbury Street. And families can go to the Salvation Army over on Capitol Boulevard. You can track the temperature in the redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download. Also, turn on your push notifications so you can get the latest updates on this cold snap right to your phone.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed.
A bipartisan bill to reopen the government and bring an end to the record-long shutdown is now headed to the U.S. House. The bill passed the Senate last night when 8 Democrats joined Republicans to break the stalemate. Every Republican voted in favor except Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. The House could take up the bill as early as tomorrow. The legislation includes funding for SNAP benefits through next September, and it keeps much of the government running on a short-term basis through January 30th. Travelers are still dealing with the effects of the shutdown as you look live at RDU this morning. Right now, there are 12 cancellations at RDU and 1 delay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says disruptions could continue as we get closer to Thanksgiving, even with the potential end of the shutdown. More than 300 homes have power back this morning after an outage due to strong winds. This was the scene near Burlington Mills Road and Capitol Boulevard in Wake Forest just before 11 last night. Officials say the strong winds caused the utility poles to lean and the power lines to sag. Part of Capitol Boulevard was closed while Duke Energy crews fixed the lines, and the road is back open. Today, people across our area are honoring the men and women who served our country for Veterans Day. And right now, people are preparing for the NC State annual Veterans Day run. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at NC State this morning. Kelsey, it is definitely colder than past Veterans Days.
Yes, Renee, this is actually one of the coldest Veterans Day mornings that we've had in about 30 years. So you can see that the runners were going to be here in about 90 minutes. But there are American flags that are all around the roundabout at Hillsborough Street and Pullen Road. As I mentioned before, the coldest Veterans Day morning in about 30 years. You just heard in the forecast that we're expecting to see temperatures in the 20s. Now, the ideal running weather is actually between 40 and 60 degrees. So we are well below that this morning. Take a look at this video from the Veterans Day run last year. We're expecting those runners to arrive around 5:45 this morning. The run is scheduled to start at 6 and end at 6:45. There will be a ceremony immediately afterwards to mark NC State's military history and honor the service of students, staff, faculty, and alumni veterans. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on when these runners arrive. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And they were wearing shorts and T-shirts last year. Definitely they will be layered up this year. This Veterans Day, a U.S. Army Green Beret will receive keys to his new home in Garner. Sergeant First Class Eddie Kim was paralyzed during a training exercise at Fort Bragg last year. And thanks to Operation Coming Home, he and his wife now have a new home designed to meet his needs. This is video from a ceremony back in June. Today, there will be a ceremony to welcome him and his wife, including performances and military flyovers. And paratroopers will skydive and deliver the keys. It all starts at 1 p.m. There's a ride-along happening today to honor some of our local veterans in Zebulon. Several Zebulon firefighters and police officers are veterans who continue to serve our community. Today's event starts at 10 a.m. Participants can meet at the Zebulon Fire Department on Vance Street. We have a list of all the Veterans Day events happening in our area and a breakdown of the different deals and discounts available to veterans. It is all on our website. Just search Veterans Day on WRAL.com. Now, some places will be closed today in observance of Veterans Day, and that includes government offices, post offices, and courts. Schools are also closed today, so let the kids sleep in today. Most banks are also closed, and most businesses and restaurants will be open. The State Department of Health and Human Services is expanding access to veterans. They announced 2 new initiatives. They extended hours for NC Serves and launched Ask Me NC. Both services give veterans access to mental health care, housing, employment, and peer support services. There are more than 600,000 veterans in North Carolina. The Nash County Sheriff's Office has identified a man found dead in the Tar River. Several agencies responded to a call about a man floating face down in the river off Falls Road yesterday. He has been identified as Javon Battle. He was reported missing last week, and investigators are trying to figure out how he died. We are trying to learn more about two bad crashes in Nash County. The first one happened on I-95 near North Halifax Road. These are pictures sent to us from a viewer. You can see debris all over the road and what appears to be damage to a tractor trailer. Another crash briefly shut down Highway 301. One person was sent to the hospital. We are working to learn whether anyone else was hurt. Today, Governor Josh Stein will present the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina with a $3.3 million donation. That donation comes as North Carolina will not be giving out full SNAP benefits this month unless the government reopens or an ongoing case clears federal court. This is one of the governor's latest efforts to help families dealing with the loss of SNAP benefits. The presentation will be at the Food Bank in Raleigh this afternoon. Looking ahead, today we will hear from UNC head football coach Bill Belichick. The Tar Heels are on a two-game winning streak after their victory, 20-15 victory against Stanford on Saturday. So far, the team is 4-5 on the season. Right now, they are getting ready to play Wake Forest this Saturday. Today's press conference is at 11:30. WRAL will be listening and we'll let you know what the coach says. Speaking of sports, NC State women's basketball is taking the court today in the home opener. The now 10th ranked Wolfpack are coming off a tough loss in the Alley tip-off in Charlotte to now 8th ranked USC. They are now 2-1 against ranked opponents so far this season. Tonight they'll take on University of Maine. The game will be at Reynolds Coliseum on the campus of NC State. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. and WRAL will have highlights during our 11 o'clock newscasts. Manager's affair. A North Carolina influencer has to pay $1.75 million for destroying a couple's marriage. The reaction from a Durham County courtroom. And intense snowstorm, heavy snow falling across the country. We will show you the places hardest hit. And let's give you a live look at Durham. Tough to see the cold, but that cold air is out there right now. A freeze warning in effect this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show you where today ranks with some of the coldest Veterans Days on record.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:45, and yes, we did have a band of snow that came right across North Carolina last night. It's moving to the coast right now. A little bit of a dusting in some places. I've got a really cool picture to show you of east of Rocky Mount coming up in just a couple of minutes. But for the most part, it's over now. Temperatures are cold out there, 32 in Durham, Raleigh, and in Fayetteville. Oftentimes, Fayetteville's a little bit warmer, but not the case this morning. Our skies are nice and clear, and the wind is going to be an issue for us, making it feel colder than it actually is. Heading out the door this morning, obviously, once you open the door, you don't need me to remind you to grab a coat because it is cold out there. The coldest that we've seen in 8 months, but it's a pretty start this morning with lots of sunshine. Obviously, you want to bundle up the kids. Temperatures dropping into the upper 20s to low 30s this morning, and it's cold when they get off the bus too. High temperatures only in the mid 40s. However, guess what? We have mid 70s in our forecast later on as we get toward the weekend. I'll show you when coming up.
A taste of winter today. Elizabeth, thank you. A North Carolina TikTok influencer who was accused of destroying a couple's marriage has been found liable for nearly $2 million. Brene Montague was sued by her now husband's ex-wife, Akira Montague. The lawsuit accuses Brene of seducing and having an affair with her then husband, Tim. Brene is an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok. Akira claims she used her online influence as a weapon, and the affair caused damage to her health. Brene said Akira knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
The case hinged on two rarely used laws, including alienation of affection. WRAL has covered a number of these lawsuits in the past. Most recently, in 2023, North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore faced allegations that he destroyed another man's marriage or traded sex for political favors. Scott Lassiter, a former Apex town councilman, had filed a lawsuit claiming Moore had a relationship with his wife. Lassiter eventually dropped the case. At least 2 people are dead after a small plane filled with hurricane relief supplies headed toward Jamaica and crashed into a lake in Florida. The plane went down shortly after takeoff from Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Investigators say the plane clipped a palm tree and hit a fence as it fell into the lake behind a home. No one on the ground was hurt. The Orange County Housing Department is collecting supplies to help stock the county's cold weather shelters. The shelters are open when temperatures are at or below 32 degrees, which we've reached this morning. Donations can be dropped off from 8 until 5 p.m. on weekdays at the county's health department locations. The early winter storm is dropping heavy snow across the U.S. The Great Lakes area and the upper Northeast regions are being hit hard. Mike Seidel shows us the areas most impacted and explains why it probably won't stick around.
The first snowfall of the season hit parts of the Great Lakes on Sunday and Monday, with some areas seeing up to a foot of snow. The National Weather Service issued lake-effect snow warnings into Tuesday, with some spots in New York and Pennsylvania picking up another 6 inches of snow.
There's a lot of challenges, a lot of slippery roads, especially on the expressway, and just drive cautious.
They recommended residents in communities near the southern end of Lake Michigan not to travel in the early morning hours, warning of gusty lake-effect snow. For those who had no other choice, that wintry weather hampered Monday morning commutes in the Chicago area.
Rough time getting down here on the expressway, and now my tire is popped. I have a job interview to go today.
Oh my God.
I have to take my son to school right now.
Some schools and districts were forced to cancel classes in southeast Wisconsin, leading to families there taking advantage of the early snowfall.
Just parents, take your kids out and let's enjoy the snow with the kids. You know, it'll be a good time. Let's go have some fun with it while it's here.
Despite coming in early, the snowfall is not historic, and it won't stick around for very long, as warming temperatures later this week will melt the snow.
Not jealous about what they're dealing with, but our mountains got a beautiful blanket of snow there.
They absolutely did. And even some of eastern North Carolina. And the band of snow did move right across our viewing area, but it happened when I know a lot of us, me, was asleep. It was about, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when that band moved through. But we do have some video to show you and some cameras where we have a little bit of snow. Love this reported photo. Charlie Franks from Williamston sent us this one. I mean, there is a coating of snow happening there. Nothing on the road, so it's not going to be a problem for driving around. But Charlie's going to have to get out and get a scraper and get that snow off of his windshield. So that was pretty cool. Williamston is about 45 minutes east of Rocky Mount. So thank you to Charlie for sending us that. If you have snow pictures, please send them our way. Go to WRAL.com/report it. And it continues to come down in Boone. The camera froze up here just for a minute, and they're likely to run into some slick streets. You can see a little bit of ice on the road there as it continues to snow in Boone. Of course, we do have the freeze warning that's in effect until 8 o'clock this morning. The wind chill, though, is bitter out there. It feels like low to mid 20s in most places, 24 in Durham and Roxborough, 22 in Fayetteville, 23 in Southern Pines. You really want to bundle up out there. That wind chill stays cold really all day, feeling like 35 at lunchtime and then feeling like low 40s for this afternoon. The wind right now is gusty in South Hill at 17, gusting to 23 in Rocky Mount. We're steady out of the northwest at about 10 to 15, and that means we do have high brush fire risk for today. You want to put off any outdoor burning. We're going to see winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. And you can definitely see it downtown from our Jimmy V camera. The flags are moving out there. So is the tree here in the foreground, and it is 32 degrees. May drop a little bit more, too, before we see the temperatures beginning to climb. For today, looking at temperatures in the mid-40s. That'll be the coldest since 2018, and 27 this morning, the coldest since 1996. The coldest Veterans Day since 1950 was 22 back in 1957, so it could be worse, I guess, right? Temperatures upper 20s in Southern Pines. Elsewhere, we're in the low 30s, very close to freezing. Looking at freezing temperatures really all across the Triangle area. And a cold afternoon, too, with high temperatures only making it into the mid to upper 40s. And again, that wind chill will be with us all day long. Taking a look at the temperatures, what about this? Wow. 70 Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Why will we have such a big jump in our temperatures? I'll show you coming up.
I like the recovery, though. Thanks, Elizabeth. Just ahead, keeps on climbing. The 8th largest Mega Millions jackpot in history. How you can get in on the action.